Hey everybody, it's Jessie again. Um, I was gonna wait until after I slept and was a little bit more presentable to go ahead and do this week's video, but instead I decided to do it before I go to sleep. So this week, in honor of Mother's Day, we're going to be discussing becoming a mother, fertility, those sorts of things. For me personally, when I found out that I had PCOS, I knew that it didn't mean that I would absolutely never be able to have children myself. However, um, that didn't make it any less devastating because, everybody wants to tell you, oh, well, my cousin has that, or, so and so, has kids and they have PCOS or whatever. And everybody telling you that is quite irritating, or at least it was for me. Um, my biggest thing is that being that you're not a doctor who hasn't done testing on me of any type, you can't tell me that I'm going to be fine and that my fertility is not affected out of everyone. I've been reading this book, PCOS for Dummies, recently. I just picked it up, like, literally while I was out of town. And it discusses in there how, like, 90% of women seen in fertility clinics are women with PCOS. That's kind of alarming. Um, I understand that not everyone that has PCOS has fertility problems, um, and that's all great and all, but nobody can promise what's going to happen. And that's my biggest gripe about it, is that if you don't know, like, I really don't feel like you should probably be commenting on it. You're not a doctor. Stop. um, that's just me personally. I was very angry and upset initially. Um, Even now, it's very disheartening. I would like to have children, um, but I feel like before I never really felt like, my clock was ticking or anything like that. But this really changes a lot of things for me because I feel like I'm not with anybody currently, and I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just a lot for somebody to sign up to. If they're wanting kids, like, you can have kids with anybody. To know that it could not only be a long process, but possibly an expensive process to procreate with me of all people. Um, that's a lot to sign up for, and I can't be mad if somebody's like, I'll just go start a family with somebody else because they can have kids. Um, of course, I don't know how it's going to work out in my scenario because I've never had any sort of fertility testing. I've never tried to get pregnant or anything like that. I've never been pregnant on accident or anything of that nature. Um, but I can't fault somebody for not wanting to sign up for what that entails um, for me, and I can't be, mad if somebody doesn't want to be a part of that. But at the same time, I really feel like if there's somebody that's going to be an issue for them like that, where they wouldn't want to, go the extra measures that it might take, um, then I just really don't need them in my life, honestly. Now, of course, that's a lot easier said than done, but, I've also had people try to tell me, well, you don't know if you can or not because you've never tried, so it's like, it just doesn't matter. Like, all of a sudden, that makes me not have PCOS and not be concerned and upset about it, and, like, that sort of a thing. That's pretty rude. um, Granted, I have never tried and I don't know, but I just don't really like people talking about my junk like that, honestly. And I get really offended about it very easily because it is, and it always has been, something that's so important to me, family, having a family, that sort of thing. Um, so I get pretty upset about it pretty quick, but a lot of people don't really notice that I'm like crying in the corner because you're being an asshole. um, but anyway, so that's just kind of frustrating. A friend of mine a while back had a housewarming party, and one of our coworkers, we used to all work together. One of our other coworkers um, had showed up, and I knew she was going to be there. I also knew she was very pregnant. That's all good and all, but then all she wanted to talk about, of course, like everyone who's pregnant, is about how pregnant they are, and I don't mean to be offensive or rude, but I swear it's like everybody I know is pregnant, and everybody wants to talk about how pregnant they are, and all these things that are like they act like they're the only one that's ever been pregnant, like they're the first woman to carry a child. Um, that's frustrating. So after about 5, 10 minutes of it, like I had to leave. I had to go outside, uh, talk to other people, walk away. Literally because I don't want to hear about how many times a day you pee. Because I probably pee just as many because I drink excessive amounts of water. A medication that patients with congestive heart failure take, and it happens to be a diuretic. And you've had a glucose tolerance test, and I probably should have one because I might be insulin resistant. They haven't really done that test on me. So things like that are really frustrating because they want to act like you've never had a kid, like you don't understand. Well, I bet you haven't had an intervaginal ultrasound either. So you really want to start talking about how special your vagina is. You haven't met mine. um, but anyway, that's just like a personal gripe that really gets on my nerves. But I can't say that if I got pregnant that I wouldn't be just as irritating to everyone else about talking about how I'm so pregnant, like all these sorts of things. But lately that's been a hard pill to swallow because um, obviously it's a concern of mine, and it doesn't seem to be anywhere in my near future like I want it to be, and that's frustrating. It's kind of hard to have a child on your own, although I hear you can adopt embryos for $4,000. But that doesn't necessarily help when you have all the PCOS problems that I have. My androgens are so high, I'm pretty sure I couldn't get pregnant if I tried. So I don't really think that's something that's going to be happening anytime, anywhere soon. Even if I wanted to, and the situation was right. So anyway, gotta live with what you can, I suppose. And I don't know if that day comes and things just don't work out. Um, I don't know what I'll do. I haven't really made peace with the fact that I may never have children and have the family that I want. But it's a day-by-day process, and I just have to hope for the best and do what I can now to increase my chances of being able to achieve that goal at some point in the future. That's pretty much all I have on that topic. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Facebook, Tumblr, and the comments section here on YouTube. Any of those ways, I'd be happy to answer all your questions. If you want more information or anything like that, just let me know. Also, I want to apologize. It's really disgusting, like I'm sweating profusely, but I'm not. um, it's just the cream and moisturizer and stuff that I have to put on at night, so I apologize. It looks so disgusting. But thanks for hanging and watching my video, and I hope everyone has a good week, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week.